There are an estimated 6 million undocumented Mexicans in the U.S. Their everyday lives are overshadowed by fears of deportation, discrimination, and uncertain futures. U.S.-Mexico immigration issues start at the border. Since 2006, the U.S. has poured billions of dollars into border security, constructing over 700 miles of fencing along the border. In fact, the U.S. budget allocates more money for border and immigration enforcement than many of the other major law enforcement agencies combined. The focus on border enforcement has led to increased deportations and created an atmosphere that encourages racial profiling and discrimination in the Southwest. Surveys indicate that Mexican communities are heavily impacted by these policies, from fearing family separation to getting stopped randomly for police checks to being blamed for criminal activity. The U.S. has focused on immigrants crossing the border, but the effect is felt in border communities as well. Many of these immigrants work in the U.S. agricultural industry, serving as day laborers on farms, picking vegetables and fruits. While they face many hardships living and working in the U.S., they continue to come to the U.S. due to the large income disparity. An average laborer in Mexico earns less than a third of the wages he or she could earn in the U.S. Regardless of their legal status, Mexican laborers play an important role in the agricultural industry in the U.S. Even now, congressmen are working to reform immigration policy to address the growing concerns of undocumented workers in America.
The current immigration policy for agricultural laborers is granting them a H-2A visa. This visa allows foreigners to enter the U.S. for temporary or seasonal agricultural work. Mexican workers make up more than 90% of all immigrants under this visa. However, employers tend to avoid the use of this process due to time and costs. For example, they must provide essentials such as free housing and meals. Instead, many employers choose a cheaper alternative: undocumented workers, who live day by day with the fear of being deported and possibly split from their families or children if caught by the government. If we look at the bigger picture, Mexican workers tend to send a large amount of their wages back to family in Mexico, which then becomes remittance income for Mexico. In 2009, a total of $20 billion was sent back to Mexico from the US. Essentially, the US is exporting money and importing labor. The US has poured a huge amount of resources into immigration control, yet undocumented workers continue to flow across the border. Instead of treating them as criminals, there may be ways to have them benefit the US economy. The US government has passed bills such as the DREAM Act, where undocumented youths have the opportunity to become naturalized citizens. However, these policies only target specific groups of undocumented immigrants. There needs to be a more comprehensive policy that covers all undocumented immigrants, not just the younger generation. If immigration policy can be changed to allow for the trade of labor, it would be a huge step towards protecting the human rights of these immigrants and also increasing the economies of both the US and Mexico.